What up? My name is Brad. Welcome back to Dragon Ball Legends. Today I want to take a look. I want to do a lot more of these discussion type videos. So I'm probably going to do one for each of the colors, I think. I want to gauge your guys' opinion in the comments as well. Let me know what you think. This is my opinion on what I think the next green Zenkai will be. Now, one of these, I would almost, I would kill for it. Okay? But these are my 6 that I gotta see it being one of them if they do choose to go green. I can't see it being anything else. So, we'll start at the beginning. We'll work our way down. Bardock. Problem with Bardock is he would be absolutely ludicrously insane. And not on like a fun level. Really, it's not that much fun to use an insane unit. We've learned that with VB. We learned that real hard with VB, that it's just not that much fun to use a unit that is overwhelmingly dominant. And I think Bardock would be overwhelmingly dominant. I'm pretty confident of that. Number 1, he's Saiyan. Number 2, being the green against VB. 3 would be lock-in. 4 would be his key recovery, because what does he get? 50 key on a green card? When he ties his headband or whatever else, he gets 50 key, which is ridiculous, by the way. So they would, if they even up any of the stuff that he does, all he needs is stats, and he'd be a good unit in the meta right now. So if you give him any additional stuff, if they stick on what they're doing with the current Zenkais, where they're kind of making them a little more dumbed down, while kind of boosting everything, the normal banner units being so overwhelmingly dominant, like the Goku and Vegeta, not Pikkon, but Goku and Vegeta compared to then Scouter Vegeta coming out, like that kind of dynamic, I could see it. Like if he's just straight damage and his lock-in is his one special thing, okay, not that terrible. But I don't fully see Bardock. He would just be, for me, an option, definitely. Goku. We're in the same kind of situation, but not as bad in my opinion. Goku's very predictable. They'd have to change something up about him. We'd be in the same kind of concept we were in with Namek Goku, where it was just like, bro, I don't want to get countered. And you just don't attack. And it's just a very boring game at that point. And I feel like Goku, because he's even worse than Namek Goku if I remember correctly. He's ridiculous. And he already draws a super, gets another vanish, or another save. So he has 2 saves, on top of being a type color. It's just, hold on. That would be ridiculous. Now, the one that I would say I want the most, I really actually do, is 16. I do want 16 the most. The more and more I thought about it, it was Green Bardock for the longest time, but I think Bardock's too strong. Goku too predictable. 16 is that perfect fit. Because number 1, Super 17 would make GT pretty relevant with that Z ability. I actually like Super 17. He's just not offensive at all. He's meant to just kind of take those hits. His paralysis is his best thing. He's very techy, whatever else. But, see, I look at these units, Zenkais nowadays, as straight up boosting stats, as opposed to, are they going to be ridiculous? I don't think we're going to get any more ridiculous ones. I think Trunks could have been, if VB wasn't a thing, but I think that's going to be a pretty common trope they're going to start using, where they give us a unit that's overwhelmingly powerful, like on a banner. Everybody summons for him, everybody gets him, everybody hates him. And they're going to give us a unit that essentially is just straight up weak to him, but still a very good unit. I could see that trope being a thing. We didn't have with Vegeta, so it could also just not be a thing. It really depends. 16 is my vote for the one that I want to see. I like 16 as a character. He's already kind of dope. Does he do anything special for Gohan? I don't remember. I feel like he does. Self-destruct, damage cut, or is it Gohan that does something extra with 16 dying? Maybe it's Goku or 16. I don't fully remember. I'm not going to go through and look at the moment, but he's the one I want. And that really the main reason, again, is Super 17, and I like 14 quite a bit as well, and I think 14 would be really, really, really good. Who else is green? The EX 17 is also green. What am I doing? Do I know what I'm doing? I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. Let's go to my character list real quick. We'll do filter. We'll go down to Android, and we'll do green. Because maybe I'm just forgetting who else is there. Now, yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, the 15 EX one is alright, but I think really and truthfully, the Cell, I've never used him. Noir's account had it, but I never actually officially used him. From what I've heard, he's not a star stunner, if we'll call him that. But, yeah, my money would probably be on 16 is who I want the absolute most. Just because of the reasons I listed off. Super 17, I think he'd be ridiculous with his main ability being to explode. I think that'd be really dope. I don't know, I'm always torn. Self-destruct is a cool idea, but in this game it's really tough. I need him to give crazy buffs. If he blows himself up like early-ish in the battle, and change his animation if you can, just so he's like see his head or something, that'd be cool. But but if you blow himself up before like 60 counts or something, or even just in general, honestly, he gives like a ridiculous buff. Think of when Fusion 13, the red one, when he's the last android alive, those kind of buffs from 16 dying would be ridiculous. Androids are not bad. They're still relatively meta. They're not top 10 meta, top 5 meta. They're probably top 10. If you have a really stacked one, they're very, very good free-to-play team. But yeah, that's my money. If I gotta pick secondary ones, that's what the second row is. Because the first two, like I said, too strong, too predictable, right on the money for 16. Super Trunks. I don't see it because we have, number one, we already got 2 Zenkai Trunkses. I can't see another one happening. Plus, I think, again, he would be a little too overwhelmingly strong. With that chance to inflict Feint on every single strike card going into a Zenkai's unit's stats, that's then going to kind of counter the meta. Obviously, there's good purple units nowadays, but you know what I mean. And he would be able to, I'm guessing it would be green hybrids. So you'd have green hybrids, purple hybrids, and red hybrids that could all just do crazy, ridiculous stuff. I don't see him happening. See a good option? Hey, he's a decent pick. He's as good as Super Vegeta for yellow. But I think he's probably just going to get a new card eventually. He already got one. He got the purple one, the EX. But I don't see that one happening. Cooler. No. Let's not... Cooler be not any fun. Because we already have Blue Cooler, who is dominant. Straight up a unit that just... When I use that Zenkai 7 Cooler at 1400%, genuinely, that unit felt like no other unit I'd ever used. I used a lot of the Zenkais at 14... like, you have, like, Boo. Boo felt like a defensive unit I'd never used. But not offensive. He's good offensive, but Cooler was a different scale when it came to offensive. The team around him isn't the most star prevalent. I don't know how to say that, but isn't the most nowadays. Is not top tier. Like, you have Purple Cooler is very good. You have LF Frieza is very good. You have all these options. Full Power Frieza is actually still pretty good too. All these options. If we had 2 Zenkai units on that team, it'd be gross. Now, if they chose to go a different route and made a Sagas from the movies unit, and they boosted green, okay, I could kind of dig it a little bit. Like, if he was meant to be run, but then he's still a Zenkai unit going on that. It's the same thing when we get green Gotenks eventually, for Legends Road, and he'll just be there. He may only buff Legends Road, great. He's still going to help VB out by being a green Zenkai unit. You know what I mean? So, if you like don't have Kefla, or Kefla's like 2-star or something, maybe you have a 14-star green Gotenks, who are you going to really pick? Some would argue Kefla. Most would probably say, I'll pick the 14-star free, whatever else. But I think we'd be in the same kind of thing with Cooler. And then Piccolo. Now, I would have never said Piccolo until they buffed Scout Vegeta. Because Scout Vegeta already got a buff, and then getting a Zenkai. Piccolo also got a buff, and then getting a Zenkai. I could see it. I was kind of waiting for them to buff one of those units that had gotten a buff previously, to say other ones may be that. I could see Piccolo being that. Like, I really could. Now, we have Boo. That's the problem. And if we did see it, it's going to be a long time. That's why he's the final slot here, because it was kind of like the last second idea. My main thing is, thanks, Private Sooner. Not Schooner. That was my main, like, I went through the top 3, and then I was like, who else might it be? Because I can't see. Number one, I can't see a different color coming out. I just can't do it. Like, it's been a little while since we got a green one. I just can't see it. On top of that, 16 is perfect because they just don't want to release new androids. For whatever reason. I'm sure if we do get Zenkai 16, which that's where my money's at. But if we do get that, bro, I could see some crazy androids coming out. It's been a while. Who is the most recent android? There's no way it was somebody like Fusion 13 or something. There has to be somebody I'm missing. Cell was the first anniversary. Think about that. That was over a year ago at this point that Cell came out. I'd have to look up who the most recent one is. And I'm not talking like EX is like prevalent in the meta. Like when 13 came out, he was really good in the meta. I don't know. I'd have to look more into that. But either way, the top 3, probably the ones I could see. Bottom 3, probably the ones I couldn't see. I do want to get your guys's. What are you guys thinking? What do you want to see? Because I want to see 16. But I really wouldn't mind Bardock. I wouldn't mind it Goku. Hell, I wouldn't even mind Goten. If you gave me like green Goten, I know that's weird, but if you gave me him with like Sun Family, I kind of just want... I want to use Zenkai for the sense of getting teams that are not relevant anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think Zenkai, that's in my mind, that's what they're trying to do. So it's passive buffing as opposed to direct buffing. You remember they used to direct buff. If you didn't play the game, it had to have been at least 8-9 months ago at this point. It was when the last buffs went out. I don't remember exactly when it was. But they used to just buff units that just like were terrible. They got no use, whatever else. They would just give them a nice solid buff, and they'd be okay. But they were nowhere near a Zenkai level. Like when Scouter Vegeta got one, you saw him for 2 days. Everyone was like, yo, Scouter Vegeta's back! And then he was gone. It was like sick. So I don't see that being a full-blown thing. Yeah, I think buffs are gone for good. I think the way that they're looking at this is now passive buffing. So if you guys watched the video I put up at the stream I did the other day where it was a full Vegeta team, but being buffed by Zenkais, and it was ridiculous. It was a pretty good team. We're going to get to that point where most characters are going to have that because you're going to start buffing. You know, once you get like Saiyans, like say we have a Saiyan of each color that then buffs that color and that tag, that's a whole team. They could all buff each other, buff different units, you could bring back old units, whatever else. I do think it's a smart idea in the future if you plan on spending 3,000 on each Zenkai that comes out. I know it sucks. But it's going to be a lot more... Like, you'll see kids on Twitter who go 5,000-6,000 in for a new unit that comes out. Great, you get them to 2 stars. You know, that's, or 3 stars if it's 999, whatever else. That's great. Or you could Zenkai a unit that then makes another unit that you have at 14 stars ridiculous. And that's kind of the way I look at it. So, like, say you didn't get that new Vegeta that came out. Well, great, Scouter Vegeta, you spent 3,000 or even 2,000 if you got a little lucky. Go in planning for 3,000. You know you're going to get that. That's going to make your old God Vegeta at least good enough to use. Your old Super Vegeta, whatever else, is good enough to use. That, to me, is a wiser way to go about it, but I don't know. I want to make more of these videos. Let me know if you guys like these discussion videos by clicking that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you do enjoy the content. And I'm out. Thanks so much. Keep an eye out. We'll be streaming sometime today. We'll stream some Legends or something. I know you guys always want viewer battles. We might do viewer battles. I'm not going to guarantee you that, though. I got to grind PvP, and I've been kind of using streaming for grinding PvP, so I'm out. Let me know what you guys think. My money's on 16. Yeah. Peace out.